Guess who's back? Back again. Randy's back. Tell a friend if you have any. Randy, what up, big dog?
How are you feeling, dude? This almost didn't happen. We got to pull back the curtain a little bit. You had an emergency tooth situation. You have one right now.
Right now, dude, this is my flu game.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to ask you a question. Okay. And this is how we're going to start. What time is
Okay.
your appointment later?
1:30.
I would have thought it would have been 2:30.
And with that, welcome in to the Elle Duncan Show with Gary Streisky and one Randy Scott, not Elle Duncan, because you know why? She's like Mr. 305, Pit Bull, because she is Mrs. Worldwide. Where is she at right now? In the south of France, in
Oh,
Cannes or
oh,
Cannes. Listen, wherever the film festival is at, that's where Elle Duncan is on official Disney business. All
word.
right, so me and Randy are back here stateside. And to his point, Randy, you heard me talk about this all weekend on SportsCenter when I was like between commercial breaks. Daddy's got a bit of a toothache, and nobody believed me. And
Yes.
you were simply humoring me.
Yeah.
But it got to a point that it was so unbearable that I haven't slept because it kept me up all night.
Ah,
So I
dude.
called my dentist, Dr. Barry, Nathan Barry, see him in West Hartford. He is the man. He was like, come in 8 o'clock in the morning. And come to find out, I need a root canal, back molar. So
Ooh.
this is my flu game. I'm battling right now. I can't feel the right side of my face, Randy.
Yeah. I wish you would have come to me sooner. I would have been able to prevent this for you later today.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not, I'm a big flossing guy. We talked about that, but I can't do the actual string floss where we're bringing out scissors, we're cutting it, we're wrapping around our fingers. We're can't do that. Horrible visual,
Yeah.
apparently horrible sound. I'm realizing
Yeah, yeah.
now,
No, yeah.
but I'll do
Audibly,
a little,
audibly it was a touch off putting as well.
like I'd argue visually as well.
Yeah,
But
that too.
the little plastic flossers. But for me, it's not about prevention. Here's how I have avoided a major. I'm going to knock on wood here.
Mm-hmm.
Major tooth situations. You ready for this?
Yes.
I haven't been to the dentist since before the pandemic. What? What? Because here's
Randy.
the thing. Well, I stopped drinking Slurpees. I was a big Slurpee guy. I was a
Oh my
big
God.
7-Eleven Slurpee guy. And so I cut that out. I
Okay.
started actually mouth washing with like the ACT, like the anti-cavity control, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're
Yep.
doing that, you're flossing, you're brushing. As long as you stay on top of it, like I don't need to go be told I have a problem if I don't feel like I have a problem. You know what I mean? You had the actual sharp pain, you had to do it. And my
Mm-hmm.
guy was struggling. We were playing the juggling contest, right? We were
Mm-hmm.
throwing
Yeah.
we were throwing the nerd clusters,
Yep. The
the gum
nerd
clusters,
clusters.
which dentists will tell you horrible for your teeth because the gummy stuff.
Nine nine out of 10 dentists will tell you that, generally
Yes,
speaking.
and the 10th is just working for big nerd. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
Correct.
we
Because
were
it's
doing that.
he or she is a dentist, so thereby they are a big nerd.
I thought that when you told me your tooth was bugging you and you were down bad, like your energy was lower, like you were like, man, I'm just uncomfortable. Like I thought you just had one of those little nerd pieces stuck between your teeth.
No.
It turns out it's a little bit more serious.
Yeah, root canal. They're gonna have to get to the root of the issue, which is the root of my tooth. I'm
Yes.
glad that it gets to stay in my mouth. And then you know what I have to do? I got to go after the root canal and I got
Yeah.
to go to the 6 p.m. sports center. So I don't know if my speech is going to be impeded. We're going to find out. I am going to tell Maria, our boss, that, hey, I'm
Yeah.
battling through injury right now, which is not unlike what Caitlin Clark had to do yesterday in the rematch with the Chicago Sky, because shocker, Randy, she had to battle through a little bit of physical play with the flagrant foul committed by her best friend, Angel Reese. All
Yeah.
right. And then after the game, it's a basketball play, but some people get special whistles. Randy, I'm so tired of this headline, but it keeps rearing its ugly head. What are we supposed to make of Caitlin Clark again being flagrantly fouled? This time it was actually called in the moment and not after the fact, but yet still a contingent of, I don't know if it's anti-Caitlin Clark detractors or people who want to see physical basketball being played, just saying it's all part of the game.
All right. So I want to go back to there's so much you just unpacked. So my guy's playing hurt, proud of you. You segued like a mall cop
Thank
over
you.
to the WNBA
Paul
topic.
Blart.
Paul Blart.
They're not armed. They're armed
Should,
with mace.
they should be though.
They
Yeah, they
should.
should be. Yeah. So let's go back to Saturday because one of the highlights that we had in SportsCenter Sunday morning was Vegas and New York, a rematch of the WNBA Finals. And in that game, I just want to bring up that Kelsey Plum was absolutely hip tossed to the.
Correct.
This is a tremendous star in the WNBA, tremendous scorer, WNBA champion, and she was. I can't remember the name of the Liberty player who threw her, but
It was
like
Betnaja.
arm hook,
Yeah.
like over the hip as she's throwing the ball up. It should have been 2 shots, maybe a flagrant, and there was no whistle, none, and there was no outrage, none. Right? This is a bigger star. Well, excuse me, this is a star that has accomplished more than Caitlin Clark. I think what we're learning and what we have learned, and we're just getting beaten over the head with, is Caitlin Clark is in her own class of WNBA star.
Correct.
And for a lot of people, my hand in the air, who have not watched 20, 30 games of a WNBA season before, but are doing that for the first time this year, is we're realizing that there isn't as much of a star system in the WNBA with regard to whistles. We grew up, you and I, on the NBA, where there was a different set of rules for Michael Jordan, different set of rules for, I mean, you were a Nuggets fan, so I don't know, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, or, I'm trying to think of like whoever.
Let's go Antonio McDyess, Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, Allen Iverson.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Allen
Carmelo
Iverson.
Anthony a little
People
bit.
forget about the Nuggets era of Allen Iverson. Fine.
First of all, okay, time out real quick.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson and Carmelo Anthony led the Nuggets to a Western Conference final, and they lost to who? Kobe and the Lakers. Okay, chill out, dude. That Allen Iverson era in Denver was damn near iconic.
Okay. Carmelo, you're right. Carmelo had different rules. There's a star system in the NBA, and I think there's now going to be a star system in the WNBA if there hasn't been already. And again, pleading ignorance on that. But what I'm saying is Angel Reese has to get used to the fact that if you hit somebody in the head and it's 7th woman off the bench, that's one thing. You hit Caitlin Clark in the head, it's going to be a flagrant. Like there, and it, likewise, if Angel Reese goes to the rack and she gets hit in the head and knocked down and sells it a little bit, I'm not going to say Caitlin Clark didn't sell it, but if Angel goes to the rim, she deserves that star treatment too. What I'm thinking of now, in terms of the anticipation of these matchups, specifically the Sky and the Fever, looking at Angel and looking at Caitlin, I wasn't around for it. I wasn't alive yet. Shut your mouth. But Magic and Bird, like that's what it is. Think about this for a second. You've got the one scorer coming into the NBA, pure score, but didn't win a title, right? And then you've got the other scorer who's a star who did win the title coming in. And I mean in college. Angel won the title. Magic won the title. Caitlin didn't win a title, but scored prolifically. Same with Larry Bird. And they come into the league together. And there's a little bit of like saying the right things and high-fiving off camera, red carpets, whatever. But then when they're on the court, they kind of want to kill each other. Like, I think we need to focus, and I'm not trying to be Pollyanna here, but I think we do need to focus on what's good about this and forget about good. It could be potentially great. The NBA exploded in popularity, reach, and money because of Magic and Larry Bird. And I think the WNBA has an opportunity to do it if it doesn't get bogged down in these storylines that are trying to bring both of these women and really a lot of these WNBA superstars down.
But what is good about Caitlin Clark, after the game saying, I admire Angel. And listen, Elle's said it to a point of exhaustion on the program here, is that Angel Reese does not like Caitlin Clark. They don't like each other, but Angel Reese is a little bit more outward. She wears it a little bit more on her sleeve, and she doesn't shy away from it whatsoever. But you have Caitlin Clark after game saying, Angel's a great competitor. I love it. But then you have on the flip side of that, Angel Reese saying, yeah, it is what it is. It happens. There are special whistles. So like it takes two to tango sort of in this game. And I think with the Angel Reese foul, that's not unlike that is different from the Kelsey Plum situation, is everybody was looking out for this moment because it was June 1st, the Kennedy Carter thing went down on the same court against the same team. So it is sort of like, all right, we're going back to the well here. Where there's smoke, there is fire. And at this point, the entirety of this whole conversation is just engulfed in freaking smoke and flame. Whereas Kelsey Plum, okay, that was like a one-off, should have been a foul. Yes, we had the highlight, and Becky Hammond was up in arms that Kelsey Plum didn't get the whistle. But I don't know. I think all that to say it takes two to tango, and I don't think we're getting buy-in from both, or at least one person is deciding to take this one avenue and the other is deciding to take it a completely different direction. And I don't know if there's like a happy middle ground.
Yeah, they may not be at each other's retirement ceremonies, in
Correct.
15 years, the way Magic and Larry were, but there's also nothing wrong. God, and it's so it feels so condescending, I guess is a word, or patronizing for us, and not you and I individually, although I'm feeling it in this moment, to like give permission. But what I wanted to say
Mhm.
just now was like they're allowed not to like each other. And it's like, okay,
Correct.
thanks, dude who never played. Like we're allowed to be competitors and we're allowed to hate each other. But like that's also kind of what you want to see. You want to see rivalries, individual and team, sometimes an individual against a team. Michael Jordan against the Pistons, LeBron when he was with the Cavs against the Celtics. Like sometimes those are good too. Like you're allowed, like we don't all have to be friends in
Mhm.
sports or in life. And I think, I mean, you and I are the best of friends, but like whatever. But like
Everybody knows that.
if people are talking about that, streets
Mhm.
remain a buzz. Like I
Yes,
would never leave
correct.
you. I would never leave you for the south of France, but like whatever. But no, more like can't believe that she left. But
Which
like
which by the way, we're taping this at 9 a.m. in the morning on a Monday because you are leaving me. You are
I,
you're vacating the entire region
I'm gonna
for
miss
a good
odd
couple
day.
days.
I'm
And
gonna
listen,
miss
here's the
one
thing.
show with you, dude.
I'm
One.
I'm not I'm not giving away your itinerary. Okay.
Don't need it.
I'm not doing any of that, but all I'm saying is you're turning
Yeah.
your back on your friendship, even though you just said you wouldn't.
Listen,
Am I flying solo on Friday by myself on
no,
SportsCenter
no,
AM?
no, no, no. You
Mm,
were with
mm.
Elle this past Friday. Well, I was on the 7A, but it's again totally fine. It's totally fine. Let's move it forward before this becomes an individual rival.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I can't feel the right side of my face, and I
Yeah,
know that my speech is slurred.
yeah.
So when
It's not
people
that
are
bad.
when people are listening to this, they
Mhm.
might think that I'm drunk. But since we're about 10, 15 minutes into the program, I just want to remind you guys, I am numbed up. I am in the midst. I'm staring down the barrel of a root canal in about 3 hours. But
Yeah,
because of my love for the game and my passion for my partnership on this program, and then with this guy right here, Randy Scott, I'm battling through it.
getting
Um,
through it.
Randy joining the program from just outside of Boston, where we are anticipating the Larry O'Brien being lifted tonight. To that, you say what? Because you mentioned it yesterday that, okay, we knew Dallas was going to get one game as we pivot now to the NBA
Mhm.
and the finals relocating back to Boston. You mentioned it yesterday. I can't recall who we were talking to. The Mavericks got one. The Celtics are still up 3-1, but we are very, very close. Like one more Mavericks win away from everybody in Boston puckering up just a bit. And by
Yeah.
just a bit, I mean all the way.
Oh, I mean, all the way. This. Oh boy, it's hot takey to say it. Whoever
Here we go.
wins
Here we go.
Game 5 wins the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Do you know what? No, no, hear me on that.
Oh,
Here,
shit.
follow me.
Hot
Hold on,
take. The
hold on.
Celtics only have to win one more game,
I
Randy.
get it. That's the guarantee side. But think about the other side for just a moment. Forget about the logical certainty of of the Boston side. If Dallas wins tonight,
Okay.
they win the NBA Finals.
That's bold.
That's what's
Do
happening.
do go on.
Well, all
Do
right.
go
Jason
on.
Tatum is already not as much as Celtics fans are, not as much as the talk radio and anything else, but he's beating himself up for how he is shooting. He said
Correct.
he's like, golly. He actually said, golly,
He did say golly.
better. I gotta
And
shoot better. Serious.
I do think we need to bring words like that back. Everything is cyclical. So
Yeah.
I do think we need to bring back golly. I think we got to bring back shucks. I
G
think we got to bring
Willikers.
back supper in place
Yeah.
of dinner. You know,
I might start calling you G Willikers,
holy
Instead
smokes.
of G Wagon. Right. Yeah. Just
Holy
no,
smokes.
G Willikers. And you'll just pop your head up. You'll meerkat up at the pod.
And be like, that's me.
Sports Center. Yeah.
That's my friend Randolphino.
Um, I think that was a massive confidence boost for Dallas on the defensive end as well as the offensive end. It was super prolific scoring, binge for Luka, nor was it for Kyrie. But it was a balanced breakfast, man. They got Derek Lively involved. They got Daniel Gafford involved. PJ Washington was shooting a little better. Dallas is a lob team. Dallas is a corner 3 team, and Boston took that away from them in games 1, 2, and 3. It was back with a vengeance at game 4. And then a lot of Boston's offensive execution problems were there as well. I'm not saying they've won in spite of Jason Tatum. I'm not. They've won in spite of Jason Tatum playing at about 75% efficiency, 75% production. He's been about that of himself. The All NBA guy hasn't shown up in this series. We've only seen him once or twice throughout the playoffs. Boston, I say we because I've got all this Boston gear in here because my kids are Celtics fans. Boston needs Tatum to be closer to his potential. They need Jaylen Brown to be what he's been throughout the postseason.
Correct.
And that team, with or without Porzingis, can beat Dallas. But if Boston doesn't execute late, if Boston allows a massive run the way Dallas has had really the last 3 games, they'll let you back in. The Celtics will. If Dallas wins tonight, the level of self-doubt and the level of, ball sticking on offense and guys trying to play hero ball and playing tight, whatever else, it's going to be through the roof in Dallas for Game 6. And then I have no confidence in this Celtics team as presently constructed to win a Game 7 at home.
Oh, that's brutal. And this series is shaping up to really kind of mirror what a lot of people are saying when you have a team that has the talent the Celtics do, right? You need your role guys to win you 2 games. And we saw that in KP winning Game 1, Drew Holiday winning Game 2, and then you need your superstars to win you the next 2 or the first 2 or at least 2. Jaylen Brown won him Game 3 in Game 3. So now we checked off every single one of those boxes, and the person who is yet to show up is Jason Tatum. So if he decides to show up and have that superstar game, superstar taking over, now's the time. Because if this thing goes back down to Dallas for a Game 6, we're coming back up here for a Game 7, and then who the hell knows what's happening ahead of Game 4. We were talking to Tim Bontemps, if this was Friday, so Kristaps Porzingis, Joe Mazzulla said, was available in given situations. I think they throw everything at the Mavericks tonight. Whether Kristaps is 100%, and again, we're doing this Monday morning, so we don't know the extent of his availability. But I think he pushes it. I think they throw everything because the last thing they want to do is go back down to Dallas, because that means we are coming back to Boston for a Game 7.
Yeah.
And Boston might burn.
And increasingly, home court is not as much of an advantage in a Game 7 as you might think.
Correct.
Road teams have had success, and the Boston crowd tonight is going to be rabid. They're going to want blood. Man, as much as it hurts me to say it, like, I have a little bit more confidence in Kyrie to be able to answer the bell better in this game on the road than the first 2, because I think what happened in Games 3 and 4 in Dallas gave him a little bit of confidence, maybe a lot bit of confidence that he can answer the bell.
Before we touch on our last topic, and thankfully for us, right? Because not just as sports fans or ESPN employees, and we have the NBA finals and we're like, oh, I hope it's not a sweep, because, if we go a couple extra games, then we get more ratings and we get more people watching. Same thing says with the Stanley Cup final. We're going to get into that, but you did make a mention of a balanced breakfast, and I just want the people to know that Randy Scott eats a box of Cheez-Its every single day on his way to work. Randy, to that you say true or false?
Cap. I say a complete and total lie. Yeah.
Randy,
sure.
Randy,
what?
Are we doing this? Are we lying to the people?
I have scaled back on Cheez-Its. I love them, but I can't get in the car at 2:15 in the morning to drive down and do the show with you and house half a box of Cheez-Its. Like, physically,
which is what you used to do.
Absolutely. Like last year I was doing that. Absolutely. But I've got to mix it up now. Now I'm into the protein bar game.
Yeah, you are in the protein bar game, dude.
Yeah. Or Dots pretzels. I'll have some Dots pretzels. Like, we'll throw those back. Like, I'm trying to diversify the portfolio just a little bit.
No, as you should. That's good. Okay, as we get back to our last topic here, because you have a flight to catch. First, you have to go to an elementary school, not a graduation, but a continuation. Because if they graduate, that means they're done with their schooling. And I know you learn a lot these days in elementary, but you probably still have to learn multiplication in middle school like that. So it's probably worth going.
They tackle that before.
Talking about superstars showing up, Jason Tatum needs to tonight for the Celtics. Are we glad that Connor McDavid finally did for the Edmonton Oilers? And are we sort of like, damn, why'd you guys have to empty the clip to the tune of 8 goals? Save a little bit of that for Florida, man, because we want to take this thing back from Sunrise to Edmonton, which we mentioned on SportsCenter is a short flight, 2,600 miles.
Yes, hop, skip, and a jump. It was good to see McDavid, respond to critics. It was good to see him actually score. It's weird, for hockey newcomers right at this stage of the year, and then we welcome them, right, for all the reasons that you said. As an ESPN property, we want as many eyeballs on the Stanley Cup Final as possible. But they come in and they're like, wait a minute, this guy's supposed to be. I've heard so much about McJesus, and here he is, no goals, no goals, and we're in Game 4. But they don't see that he's had, I don't know, how 7 assists at that point. Like an assist contributes to a goal, right? And he broke Wayne Gretzky's team record for
32 assists so far in this playoffs, which beats the greatest hockey player that's ever lived's record that was set in 1988, which, by the way, the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup Final in 1988. But yeah, breaking his record. So he's shown up in different areas of the box score, but you expect him being the best player on the planet. And when he has the puck, you can just tell he's leaps and bounds better than everybody else. But having not scored a goal until Game 4, and then he had a couple assists as well, that was a long time coming. And you got to wonder, if you're Florida, did you just wake up a monster?
Maybe you're right. Save some of these goals. It doesn't matter if you win 2-1 or 8-1 or whatever. But I wonder, and we'll get our answer in the first period against Florida in Florida. I wonder if they put something in the back of Sergei Bobrovsky's head to where, not goalie yips necessarily, and I don't think they've solved him, but I mean, throwing a few back, having him look over his shoulder, wondering where the puck went. Like, we did not see that version of a guy in Bobrovsky who was on his way to perhaps a Conn Smythe trophy. So and the Stanley Cup Final MVP award, right? So I don't know. Skinner between the pipes, Stuart Skinner for Edmonton played really well. He has to do that 3 more times. That's it. He has to do that 3 more times. Can you do that against a Florida team that isn't as good on the offensive end as they are on the defensive end? They will choke you out. That's how they win games. They want to put the pressure on their goaltender. They want to put the pressure on their defenders and beat you 2-1, beat you 2-0. That game, you want to get in a track meet, Florida or Edmonton wants to win that. Florida would rather just dissect you and cut you to pieces.
I'm glad that Randy Scott gave us the deep dive on Connor McDavid, a guy who we are so accustomed to see scoring, because Randy Scott in his own right is a guy, I'll tell you right now, guy has no problem scoring. All right. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to dive deeper into what that means. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot, Randy, and ask you if you're going to cry at your elementary school continuation in just a couple of hours.
Continuation. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. You're pivoting like Ross Geller moving a couch. I will. Yeah. And here's how I know I will. I cried a couple times last week. Last
Why?
week was
when I told you I had a toothache.
You
felt my pain.
Your pain is my pain. We would live close enough to walk to school, and as the weather's gotten nice and my son's gotten more confident and started to hang out with kids who like have bikes and want to ride their bikes to school, that's what he's been doing. And he turned to me. So he's here for 3 school mornings, right? And he turned to me and he goes, I like brought his bike out for him and put his helmet on there. And he's like, no, Dad, I want to walk today. And initially I hate this, but like about myself, but I had this little I was a little like annoyed just briefly because like I wanted him to go with his sister. Like I want them to ride together because she's only 9. So I'm like, it's better if older brothers.
Are we talking about your oldest son or your youngest right now?
Oldest.
Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I want to walk. And I was like, oh, buddy, you sure? La, la, la. And then Emma's like, Dad, I got this. And she's just gone. And I was like, all right, fine. And I go, why do you want to walk? And he kind of looked at me and he looked down. And I thought he'd put all this product in his hair. So I thought he just didn't want to put like the helmet. He didn't want to ruin his hair. And he goes, we only have 4 more walks. And I was like, just
damn.
Just take my heart out. Like, because in middle school, he'll take a bus and stuff. So really, this is the last time that we're going to walk to school. Not even today. He's at his mom's house this morning. But so like I've had the last walk to elementary school with my first baby. And it's the whole don't blink thing is it's so true. It's so easy to get caught up in the like lunches and practice and blah, blah. And Elle could speak. Oh my God, Elle's got a couple kids too. Like you just get caught up in like the day-to-day business of raising kids, and then you blink and they're not holding your hand anymore. They want to say goodbye around the corner from the school, and you're not walking them to elementary school anymore, So yeah, I was emotional last week and I'll be emotional this week, but I just love that he's this like, he's emotionally intelligent, and he realized, he's like, no, I kind of want to do another walk. Like, we're running out of walks, Dad. And I was like, yeah, let's go. It's awesome.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's pretty
no.
cool.
Damn, that's actually an awesome story, dude. I thought you would tell me that
Yeah.
over the course of the weekend, man. That's awesome. And then obviously yesterday, celebrating Father's Day. Holy smokes,
Yeah.
that timing is crazy, dude. That's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you this much right now, man. Jack is smart like that because he learns it from his pops. Because you are emotionally available as a friend and as a coworker, but more importantly, as a friend, you do wear that, man. So I know that he sees that from you, and then he's like, oh no, wait, no, this is okay that I can
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
emotionally available with my old man. So
Hope
that's
so.
cool, man.
Yeah. It'll be cool.
Damn it,
It'll be
Randy.
cool.
I can't believe you made me finish this dang podcast saying something nice. He's a good dad, and he's about to go to a middle school graduation. If you see Randy Scott with sunglasses on inside, leave him alone. Don't ask him to take them off because he's crying behind those lenses.
Facts. Facts. Can't lie. All right, buddy.
All
I
right,
hope
dude.
he feels better. I hope the dentist goes well. We'll see you on Sports Center tonight, probably. Hopefully. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Perfect, man. Safe travels. Get back safely, and I'll catch you on Sports Center on Saturday, my boy.